All right. Welcome to our SEADLink Member Spotlight. So we have Kat Dyess today. Kat is an active member who provides outstanding influence and contributions to the Mindful Seed community. So as a thanks, we're featuring her in this month's SEADLink Member Spotlight. Welcome, Kat.
Thank you so much. It's really great to be here.
Yeah, we're glad to have you. So to start out, would you mind just sharing like a brief bio of yourself to give us a quick sense of who you are?
Sure. I moved out to the West Coast the year 2000. I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia, and started teaching after I finished my master's in French. I lived in Paris for a year doing that. It was the best year of my life, and ended up getting really into early language acquisition. So I started teaching, let's see, at the end of the late 80s. So it's been a long time. Let's see, I've been teaching now about 30 years. So, but I've taught many different, I'm really been a French teacher for many years, but moved into the SEL as it was, they asked me to teach it. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. What made you decide to become an educator or go into education?
Well, I had a really good experience. I don't know what year I was in college, but I had an opportunity to teach kids French, little kids, they're like elementary age students. And I was just fascinated at how quickly they were learning another language that way. And that's how I really started thinking, hey, I might really enjoy doing this for a career. So, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, and I also have taught yoga quite a bit. So I love meditation and yoga and all kinds of mindful practices. So that has been a real passion of mine as well.
Yeah, I definitely can see the connection overlap there between the two. That's cool.
Yeah.
What would you say? I mean, you kind of hinted at this maybe, but what have you enjoyed most about your career?
I have the opportunity every year through educational company to tour the Europe with students. And so this will be my seventh year. We're going to London and Paris. And we've been to Barcelona, Rome, the south of France, all over the place. So I would say that is my most enjoyable thing. But of course, the students make the career just worth it. So definitely.
Totally. That's awesome. Oh, wow. Taking a trip like that must be so formational for students.
It's really great. It was great living there by myself, but seeing it through their eyes. I had one girl who she was from a single home, single mom home. She wanted to see the Eiffel Tower ever since she was little. And there we were standing under the Eiffel Tower, and she just started crying. And I started crying too, because it just made me feel so good that I could have facilitated that, her ability to see it. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love to hear those stories, but I know there are probably some tough days too. So kind of on the flip side, what has
Mhm.
been your biggest challenge that you faced and how did you overcome it?
Yes. When I started working for the district, for Washoe County School District, I was hired actually in special ed, and nobody wanted to teach math special ed. And I come from a liberal arts background. So, being the green pea that I was, I raised my hand. I said, sure, I'll do this math class for special ed. And it was the hardest year, but luckily I had a mentor who ended up being our principal. Her name's Tammy Hart, just amazing lady. And she pretty much helped me get through it. And I found that if the more creative I was, because most of those kids were very right brained, the more creative I became in trying to teach them these math concepts, the more they seemed to grasp them. So, but it was very hard because it was so far from my area of expertise. So,
Yeah, it sounds like it was a challenge, but it's awesome you had a mentor there to help you through that.
oh, I did. Yeah, we're still in touch, in fact. So she was really great in teaching me just kind of how to deal with the situation, because it was challenging, definitely challenging.
So you mentioned that you're an SEL specialist. I'm just wondering, how
Mhm.
did you first learn about SEL?
You know, um, The school where I was teaching the math, they needed help with a freshman seminar. So they asked me, did I want to teach it along with French? And I said, sure, not really knowing much about it at the time. But I was lucky to have training with Keith Matheny, who of course started the School Connect program. And so he pretty much trained me to implement it. And the more that I taught it, the more I realized, wow, this is what the kids have really needed. This is really impacting them more, honestly, than my French classes were, I felt like. So I started to become very passionate about it.
That's awesome. Uh,
Mhm.
that's really cool. How have
Yeah.
you found SEL and Mindful Seed in particular have helped you?
I was just teaching a mindful lesson today with my career exploration kids, and it was so great. We printed out it was like a flower mandala that they were going to color, and I did it along with them. And, I thought, wow, this has really, the kids were eating it up. They were engaged. They were loving it. It just seemed like be given that space to actually relax and not do anything except for relax their mind. That was huge for them today. So I got a lot out of it too, because it reminds me, of course, to do the same thing. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I feel like so many times the things we do for, others that end up benefiting ourselves is great, especially
Oh,
students.
totally. I think it's true. We teach most what we need to know. So yeah,
Exactly.
definitely. Yes.
Um, so speaking of kind of SeedLink, are there any topics you'd like to talk about more with your fellow SeedLink members or Mindful Seed members?
I think more ways to integrate mindfulness into the classroom. That's huge. I would love to do that or find out more about that. Of course, I've got lessons through School Connect, but maybe there are some more resources or platforms where we could talk about that.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's something that, everyone could benefit from in SeedLink. So definitely should talk about that more.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's see. If you could go back in time and give yourself one piece of advice, what would it be?
I think it would be to not take things so seriously and to be more playful.
That's a
Yes.
great one.
You think so?
I tell myself that every day.
I do too, because when we just have a lot on our plates, and um, I used to be such a perfectionist, and I've been trying to unravel that and just not be that way and not take myself so seriously. And the more I do that, the more I make light of things, the more the day seems to go better. So
I
yeah.
like it. Well, I left my most difficult question for last. Imagine
Okay.
a day without work, the internet, and any other obligations. What would you do?
I love that. Well, I would definitely sleep in. That would be the first thing. Sleep until I woke up, which is amazing idea. And then I would spend some quality time with my son. He's 20, so he's actually at work right now. But I would, if I was able to, I would spend time with him. I love to hike and walk in the woods, so I might drive to Tahoe City and take a hike. And then after that, maybe look through the shops just for fun, not necessarily buying anything. And then maybe we could have some pizza or salad and just enjoy being in Tahoe City. Maybe watch the sunset, you know?
Wow, that sounds like a great itinerary. You should just do it. Do it on a weekend. Sounds great.
Absolutely. Yeah. You're more than welcome to come up from Vegas and we can go do that if you want.
Yeah, that'd be so fun. Sign me up.
That's one really nice thing about being here in Reno is the adjacent to Lake Tahoe is just, yeah, it's just gorgeous there. So
Yeah.
yeah, I love it there.
Well, thank you so much, Kat, for sharing with us and for being a part of Mindful Seed.
Oh, absolutely. It's been my pleasure. I'm really happy to be a part of this community and just so grateful to be here. So thank you for honoring me and taking the time to talk with me.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.